This has to be the craziest time in my Universe Mode career. In the past 2 weeks alone, I have headlined WrestleMania, defeated The Rock for the WWE title, and been drafted to a whole new show. Now I have an entire new roster of superstars to defend my championship against. Any other man could fail in my situation, but I'm not just another competitor. I'm the best in the world, and that's not just a gimmick, that's a fact. I'm the best on the mic, I'm the best in the ring, and nobody, not even The Rock, can prove me wrong. I'm out here tonight to send a message to the entire SmackDown roster. I may be the new guy in town, but if any of you take me lightly, I will not hesitate to put you in your place. Cross my path, and you will go to sleep. What's up, YouTube? This is Mathos97, and welcome to episode number 47 of my WWE 2K15 Universe Mode. We're here with another episode of Friday Night SmackDown. So without further delay, let's take a gander at the match card for this one. The Intercontinental Champion, Titus O'Neil, will be kicking off the show in a match against William Regal. The Ascension defeat Los Matadores in tag team competition, so the Ascension pick up yet another victory. The Usos and Jack Swagger defeat the New Day in a 6-man tag team matchup, so the New Day's debut to SmackDown, not so successful, although I can say the opposite for Jack Swagger. He made a good first impression. Tamina Snuka goes one-on-one with Summer Rae after what went down last week. The Wyatt family defeat the Brotherhood in tag team action yet again. And in the main event, we have a battle royal for the #1 contendership for CM Punk's WWE Championship. It'll be John Cena, Wade Barrett, Roman Reigns, Chris Jericho, Sheamus, and Mark Henry, all competing for the opportunity to face CM Punk at Extreme Rules. Now, you know, as I said in the last episode, well, the last episode of SmackDown, that The Rock, he did get injured, and he's been held out of action at least until after Extreme Rules, possibly even longer than that. Still don't quite have full details on the injury, but we know that The Rock is at least going to be out for at least a month, so that'll take him out of action for Extreme Rules. He has not been cleared to compete, so we need a new contender. Now, CM Punk, earlier on, we saw his thoughts and opinions on being drafted over here to SmackDown, and he's willing to face any and all challengers, so that, I don't know, is that going to motivate our 6 competitors later on tonight, or, I don't know, is that perhaps to create some intimidation on the part of CM Punk, as he's supposed, is that almost like a threat to the rest of the roster here on SmackDown? Not too sure, but we'll get to that a little bit later when the main event does roll around. For now, we have our opening matchup as the Intercontinental Champion takes on William Regal. And Regal, since making his debut to Universe Mode back at the Royal Rumble, he's, I don't know, he's kind of been picking up some victories, yet he has lost a few matches. So Regal, he's kind of a bit all over the place. But here tonight, if he can get a victory over Titus O'Neil, could line himself up for a future Intercontinental Championship match. Of course, Titus O'Neil will be defending the title at Extreme Rules against the former champion, Ryback. So, it's funny. I mean, in the last episode, we saw, with it still being the WWE Draft, heading into the episode, SmackDown had all the champions. They had the World Heavyweight Champion, the WWE Champion, and the Intercontinental Champion all on their roster, while Monday Night Raw only had the US title. Now, the situation could be reversed, as Ryback, he was drafted over to Monday Night Raw, and so was the World Heavyweight Champion Christian, which now leaves, you know, the playing field is even. But should Ryback win back the Intercontinental Championship at the pay-per-view, now SmackDown's only going to be left with the WWE Championship. So that's almost going to have the reverse effect as it would have initially had over on Monday Night Raw when they lost CM Punk to SmackDown. Whereas Cesaro, he really would have had to step up his game to defend against all the superstars, the main eventers, who would be moving down into that division. It would be the opposite for SmackDown, all the superstars currently in the Intercontinental Championship division would just have to work that much harder to get into the main event picture. Perhaps could have even been lost in the shuffle. So Titus O'Neil, he's got a lot of weight on his shoulders. His own career could be hanging in the balance at Extreme Rules, because if he loses the Intercontinental title to Ryback, I mean, he didn't defeat Ryback at WrestleMania. He pinned Cody Rhodes. So Ryback really never lost the Intercontinental Championship. So there could still be some doubt as to whether or not Titus O'Neil is a legitimate champion. And if he loses to Ryback, well, that would just prove everybody right that he really didn't deserve the Intercontinental Championship. And I would have to say Titus O'Neil, there's no way he would just move straight on up into the main event picture. I mean, especially not with all the doubters that would be left after Extreme Rules after losing to Ryback. So Titus O'Neil, not only is the title on the line, but his own career could very well be at stake. But let's focus back on the matchup as he delivers a nice reverse atomic drop to William Regal. And now look at this. Titus O'Neil setting Regal up for the backbreaker right there. Taking down Regal. Goes for the cover. Forearm across the face. But Regal kicks at it too. Regal manages to stay alive in this thing. And now Regal. Oh, Regal's starting to fight back. Look at that shoulder block right there to Titus O'Neil. Just throwing his body weight at Titus, knocking him down to the mat. And here's Regal. Knee right to the side of the head of Titus O'Neil. Perhaps starting to set Titus up for that running knee trembler. And that definitely will knock you for a loop. That'll put you out for a couple days. As now he takes Titus O'Neil down with a nice rolling forearm. Or maybe a rolling elbow. And now he's got Titus O'Neil up on his shoulders. And Regal with a nice rolling senton. William Regal's looking good at the moment. He's firing up that second wind. 2 count. Not a 2 count on Titus. He kicks out just before a 2 count. And now Regal perhaps looking to go for it again. But Titus counters into a reverse DDT. And now Titus O'Neil. Now it seems like he's just toying with William Regal at this point with that kick to the back. And now Titus. An Irish whip sending Regal up over the top rope. But Regal hangs on, and now he gets tossed back in the ring by the Real Deal. And now Titus just striking away at the side of the head of Regal. Yet another cover. 1, 2, and another kick out by Regal. And Regal's in trouble right now. He needs to hit some big move quick here. And look at this. German suplex as if on cue. Regal dropping Titus almost on the back of his head with that one. And here's Regal. Northern Lights suplex into a bridge. But not even a 2 count. Titus gets the shoulder up. And William Regal, look at this. What could he be thinking here? German suplex now to Titus. Yet another cover. And another kick out by Titus. As William Regal really starting to turn the complexion of this match in his favor. Oh, and he's got the leg hooked here. Oh, what a suplex right there by Regal. As he's just turned into a suplex machine here. Oh, and he's looking to finish off Titus O'Neil. Could be looking for that running knee trembler. And he connects right there. But he drops down to one knee. Regal, he can't capitalize. He's taking too much damage from Titus. Regal, he's got to go for the cover now. He could have Titus, but Titus may have had too much time to recover. And indeed he did. As Titus kicks out of the knee trembler. So Regal now, he's got to think quickly. He's got to think on his feet here. Look at this, going for a splash off the second rope. But Titus rolled out of the way at just the right moment. And now Titus, he has regained control, tossing Regal out of the corner. Now a spine buster right there to William Regal. And things are not looking too good for the Englishman. He's got him up on his shoulders for that gut buster. The same move that put away Darren Young in Elimination Chamber. 2, 3, William Regal has been defeated here tonight. What a match that was to kick off SmackDown. Very back and forth. Regal at one point, he had the opportunity to put Titus O'Neil away, but he had taken too much damage at the time, wasn't able to capitalize, and that allowed Titus O'Neil to stay in this thing for just a little bit longer, and that was all he needed. He just needed that one last opportunity, and then he hit that gutbuster, and that was it, folks. William Regal, he was down for the count, and Titus O'Neil, the Intercontinental Champion, can continue riding his wave of momentum here on SmackDown as he gets yet another victory in singles competition. And that's definitely going to give him a bit more confidence heading into Extreme Rules, because he's got a hell of a task ahead of him in the Human Wrecking Ball, former Intercontinental Champion, Ryback. So now it's time that we move on to the next matchup for this evening. And this is a matchup I've been looking forward to ever since last week's SmackDown, when Tamina attacked Summer Rae before her match with Natalya. And now here tonight, we're going to see these two square off one-on-one. So Tamina making her way down to the ring. She's looking confident. She is undefeated to this point. And she could very well be the next in line for Brie Bella's Divas Championship. I mean, she's certainly made a case for herself in recent weeks. With all these victories she's racked up, not losing a single match since she debuted. And the same goes for Paige, so Tamina's got some competition. So she can't afford to lose now, because at this point it's almost like a game of chicken. Whoever loses first is going to be knocked out of the race for good. So Tamina, she can't afford a loss here tonight, which is going to be easier said than done. She is facing off against the former Divas Champion, Summer Rae, after all. And Summer Rae, you can see, sporting a new attire here tonight, sporting a little bit of blue, as opposed to the purple we've seen ever since she debuted. So it's a nice change of pace. I mean, I do like the color difference. It's a nice new look on things. But she can't be too focused on appearances. Summer Rae, if she wants to get back in the title hunt, she needs to start getting victories now. I'd say by this point it's too late for her to get into the hunt for Extreme Rules. But if she does want that Divas Championship back, she's going to have to start winning as soon as possible. Maybe she could line herself up for Payback. I mean, that shouldn't really be too important for her at the moment, though. She just needs to focus on getting those victories. And a victory over the undefeated Tamina would definitely be a nice confidence booster for her. That would definitely look good on her resume here. Sorry about that. But on the other hand, you look at Tamina, a victory over the former Divas Champion, I'd say that looks pretty good on her resume as well. And it would definitely strengthen her case for a potential title match with Brie Bella at the pay-per-view. Of course, Paige, she's gotten her own fair share of victories over Nikki Bella, Brie Bella's sister, back on Raw a few weeks ago. So, I don't know, they're both looking pretty strong at the moment. I'd have to say if Tamina can defeat Summer Rae here tonight, you can make a fair case for either of these two women that they're deserving of the title. I don't know, maybe perhaps we'll even see the two square off in a one-on-one matchup. Maybe it'll come down to that. I mean, there are other divas in contention. We have someone like Natalya, who did pick up a victory over Summer Rae last week. Nikki Bella, well, I think now that she's been defeated by Paige, she's out of the running. So, I mean, there's not a then again, the Divas division is fairly shallow, so there isn't a whole lot of contenders to really compete against. Which is why, if we could bring in some people from NXT in next year's game, Sasha Banks, Charlotte, Bayley, Becky Lynch, you know, those divas, that'd be nice. I can't think if there were any really new divas that debuted that weren't in this year's game, but obviously some of the older ones like Alicia Fox. I don't know, maybe Eva Marie. I can have a Divas jobber. That might not be too bad. I guess it could work. And then we can give Cameron something else to do so she's not just jobbing. I don't know. Not really too sure. Not sure how I would feel about that one, considering Eva really never wrestles. But I'm getting sidetracked. Back to the match at hand, as Summer Rae now has gained control with a nice snapmare there, taking down Tamina. But Tamina, she's back to her feet, rakes the eyes now of Summer Rae. And now look at this, Samoan drop by Tamina. Down goes Summer. And Tamina quickly hopping up to that top rope. And she could be looking for the Superfly Splash. Shades of her father, Jimmy Snuka. Covered by Tamina. 2 count. And that's a victory for Tamina Snuka over Summer Rae. And Tamina continues her reign of dominance since debuting. She gets yet another victory. Her undefeated streak continues. And she makes a much better case for herself in the Divas title hunt. I think at this point, the top two contenders have got to be Paige and Tamina. I mean, both Both have remained undefeated since their debut back in February. And at this point, I think it's almost just a case of who's going to lose first. Whoever loses first is, I mean, whoever can just keep winning. If the other loses, then, well, they've earned themselves a title opportunity. But if none of them do lose, we could very well just see them face off in a number 1 contenders match for the title. I mean, I would definitely like to see either of those two women competing for the championship. It would be something new. We haven't seen either of them compete for the title yet in their careers. So that'd be nice to see. But that's all wishful thinking at this point. It's a bit too early to say. But here in this matchup, we can determine who will be the number 1 contender for the WWE Championship. There's no speculation about this one. Whoever wins this Battle Royal here tonight will be CM Punk's competitor, opponent, challenger at Extreme Rules. And there's a lot on the line here. These 6 superstars competing in the match here tonight all would love the opportunity. We got a nice mix of superstars who've been on SmackDown for quite a while. And then we've got a mix of superstars thrown in there who are new to SmackDown. Guys like Roman Reigns and John Cena, who were just recently drafted over to SmackDown. But then we got the guys, the loyalists, like Barrett, Sheamus, Mark Henry, Chris Jericho. At this point, I think it's safe to say that Jericho's been here long enough. We can consider him one of the longer-standing SmackDown members of the SmackDown roster. I mean, it's been since October when he was brought over here after after No Way Out. So, I mean, I think that's long enough. He's basically made his case. So, we've got a lot of superstars here, some of them more desperate than others. We have Roman Reigns and Cena, who would love to make a good first impression. And this is a good opportunity to get catapulted straight to the top. And in Roman Reigns' case, he's been a member of the most destructive tag team in the history of Universe Mode, known as The Shield, ever since his debut back at the Over the Limit pre-show, which was almost a year ago. It was back in May of the WWE 13 season. So Roman Reigns, he's come a long way since making his debut as a member of The Shield. Now, he's been forced to go out on his own, and he could very well just be catapulted straight to the top if he could win this Battle Royal here tonight. And then we look at somebody like Mark Henry, who is the former World Heavyweight Champion, and we saw in the last episode on Main Event that he wants that world title back. Although he really can't challenge Christian. I mean, he doesn't really have any contractual obligation to the title, and now that Christian was drafted over to Raw, Henry, there's not much he can do. I mean, he's on SmackDown. There's a brand split. He can't challenge Christian for the title. I mean, it's that simple. He had his opportunity at WrestleMania, and he blew it. So now Mark Henry, he wants that WWE Championship. He's got to set his sights on a new target, a new goal. And now, as we can see, Roman Reigns has got Jericho down over there on the bottom rope. Henry looking determined to eliminate Cena here, try to get the new kid on the block out of this matchup. And I'm sure Henry, he would be furious I mean, not just Henry, but Barrett, Sheamus, you know, the superstars who have been on SmackDown since the beginning, they would be furious to see someone like Cena or Reigns just get drafted over to Raw and get drafted over from Raw and immediately get an opportunity at the title. Cena, though, he manages to get back in this thing. He was dangerously close to being eliminated there. Jericho now sent over the top rope by Roman Reigns. And Reigns, he's trying to push Jericho out there with all his might, and he does eliminate Jericho. So the Ayatollah of Rock and Rolla is out of this thing. And I know better than to basically scream that in that voice that I've done in the past. Well, not really scream it, but just, you know the voice. If you've been here long enough, you know what that voice is. And that voice that destroys commentary, that just destroys my throat for the rest of the episode. As we can see, Henry, he's trying to eliminate Cena here, and he gets him out of there. John Cena's been eliminated. So right away, Jericho and Cena, they're gone. That's 2 big threats out of this thing. And that leaves us down to 4 men: Mark Henry, Sheamus, Barrett, and Roman Reigns. Now, I don't know really who to choose as the favorite here. I mean, part of me wants to say Mark Henry, considering his history as the World Heavyweight Champion. He has been on the warpath as of late. But then, you know, part of me also wants to go with a guy like Roman Reigns, who's, we really don't know what he has to bring to the table as a singles competitor. So, I mean, he's almost an unknown in terms of, you know, what truly are his abilities as a singles wrestler. Now that he's without the Shield, I don't know, it just could be that unknown element as he eliminates Mark Henry there. That is a huge elimination right there for Roman Reigns. And even if he doesn't win this match, he's made a fair case for himself now that he's not someone to be messed with. I think even if he doesn't win here tonight, we probably will see Roman Reigns compete for that title at some point, maybe even fairly soon. Roman Reigns, I mean, he's showing here tonight that he has what it takes to be a main eventer. He's eliminated Jericho and Henry from this matchup. But now it's a 2-on-1 assault. Barrett and Sheamus working together, trying to take down Roman Reigns here. And this is, like I said, we have the two loyalists here, the men who have been on the SmackDown roster since the very beginning. Sheamus, who was our very first World Heavyweight Champion, and then Wade Barrett, who's been hunting for the title. He's even challenged Sheamus on numerous occasions. Well, on one occasion, back at Vengeance. As Sheamus is eliminated, we're down to Barrett and Roman Reigns, and you can see Reigns now just mocking Sheamus there. But that could cost him as Barrett, no, counter by Reigns. He was close to being eliminated there, but he managed to get himself back into it. But now Barrett's got Reigns over the top rope. Reigns is in trouble. That arrogance could cost him here, as Barrett wasting little time trying to get Reigns out of this thing. And now look at this. Oh, the bullhammer elbow. And that knocks Reigns off the apron. Barrett, he had the opportunity, and he capitalized on it. He eliminates Roman Reigns. And Wade, bad news, Barrett. Well, I'm afraid I've got some bad news for you, Reigns. Because that was a terrible accent. Sorry about that. But Barrett, he's going to Extreme Rules. He's going to face CM Punk for the WWE Championship. That is it for this episode. I want to thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. And until that time comes, as always, keep on YouTubing.